Good morning, everyone. It is 6:30 a.m. and I have been awake since a little bit before 4 a.m. I got up probably actually a little bit around like 4:45. I just tried to stay in bed and go like, no, sleep in to a decent hour. Please sleep in to a decent hour. And, I kind of did, not really. But yeah, this morning, probably gonna just walk around the Ikebukuro area, see what's around my hotel and everything, get some breakfast, and then I'm going to head over to the Kichijoji area where I'm going to get some food items that I really want to try, and then I'm going to the Studio Ghibli Museum. So let's head out. Okay, so what I got for breakfast is Mr. Donut. They have these new sweet potato donuts. So, let's see. Yeah. So this is just the plain sweet potato donut. I really wanted to try the Daigaku Imo. So like it has black sesame on it, and it's kind of like a candy coated sweet potato donut, but they did not have that one. So instead I just got the plain. And then I also got like my classic favorite, the honey dip, which is a honey dip donut. It's pretty much like a plain donut in the United States. So yeah, let's try out the sweet potato donut. Okay. If you know like cake type donuts, it is that type of texture, like a cake donut. The sweet potato flavor is not overwhelming. It's very subtle. You can taste it a little bit, but it more tastes just like a general cake donut. So nothing like crazy or outrageous, but still very tasty. Next we have the honey dip donut. So as you can see, it's just like a regular glazed donut. Glazed donut that tastes a little bit of honey. And finally, to round out my breakfast, I went to Family Mart and got milk cocoa, which, yeah, it's just kind of chocolate milk. Tastes exactly what I expected. I will say, like, chocolate, it is more of like a cocoa flavored milk than you would think like a chocolate milk would be. I do like it a little bit better. It's something I always try and get when I'm over here. And yeah, so that was my breakfast. Well, welcome to Inokashira Park. It is beautiful today. The temperature is in the 70s, so it's going to be a great day. I've got my menchikatsu from Sato and some taiyaki, so let's give it a try. So first up, menchikatsu. That is amazing. It's got beef and onions. Very good. So my next item is a taiyaki from Kuriko-an, and it is a chestnut cream and chestnut paste taiyaki. So let's give it a shot. Okay, let me pull this out. The chestnut cream is really good. Very good. It's a seasonal flavor, of course, because of fall. But yeah, very good.
The and try to educate the heart.
So next I went to the Ghibli Museum. So the Ghibli Museum does not allow filming inside of the museum itself. However, they did allow filming outside, so that's what you're getting with these clips. The Ghibli Museum was very interesting and definitely think you should try it out. So after I finished at the Ghibli Museum, I went to Jindaiji, which is a temple that's not too far away from the Ghibli Museum through bus, and you can use Google Maps. They have a great app for buses, and the information is pretty accurate. So from the number 4 bus stop, the Chofuji Taikon? Anyway, you walk a little ways this way, and then you can see a sign that says Jindaiji, and it's a little walk down this lovely wooden path. Okay, so this is a map of the Jindaiji complex. The path that I first went to, came out on Botanical Garden, so just FYI, if you see a park that's like, oh yeah, pay, I forget how much it was, but I think it was like saying like, oh yeah, tickets for this much yen. That is not where you want to go. Keep walking and you will get to the Jindaiji complex. So this is the main entrance that if you use, I believe, bus 14, you actually get to. So I went in the back way by going with bus number 4. I got peach kakigori from this store. So they're doing this pop-up shop for the Japanese rugby team and this animated character, which is Gegege no Kitaro. So bus 4 actually does stop at the front of Jindaiji. You just have to walk down a little bit. Finally, I went to Nakano Broadway and did not film much of anything. I'm back in the hotel room after a busy day in Kichijoji, and then I ended up going to Nakano as well. So as you saw, I walked around a lot in Kichijoji. I was able to get the menchikatsu that I was really wanting to get. Got some taiyaki, which was so good. So when I showed you earlier the taiyaki, I thought it was a chestnut paste. It was not. It was actually some type of cooked chestnuts in it. From the photo, it looked like it was like paste, but it was not. It was actual chestnuts in the middle of that taiyaki. So good. And then I was able to get into the Ghibli Museum, which was amazing. You cannot take videos or pictures inside. You can only take them outside, which totally understand. One thing I will say, if you're planning to go to the Ghibli Museum, you really need Japanese. There was a lot of just written information in the different types of rooms, and I feel like because my kanji skills really suck, but for the most part I was able to read, probably because they want the children to be able to read, so it was like slightly lower level Japanese and a lot less kanji than there could have been. I was able to pretty much read it. It takes me a really long time to read Japanese, but like I stood there and I stared at the descriptions and I read that stuff, and it was so fascinating. Some of the areas, so the first room you really go into in the museum shows like the process of animation, which was so cool. They showed like the different cells, like animation cells, and how if you like blink lights and rotate the animation or like flip through it, suddenly it goes from looking like different types of pictures, like picture, to all of a sudden they move. And it was so cool to see that process and kind of what went into it. And they also talked about like layering, making a panorama, making like a depth of field. So like having a drawing sandwiched and then kind of put together to also add depth to an image. And it was so cool. And then on the next floor, they had a room about the coloring process. So about drawing the picture, like cutting it out, and then like making things look like, making water look like water, and like changing it up depending on if it's a puddle, if it's a stream, if it's somebody dropping a rock in water, and then showing examples from the various Ghibli movies of where they did that. It was so interesting. I never realized like how much thought went into like the coloring of metal versus the coloring of water, and like shading, like if you're gonna have light from the moon versus light from the like sun and things like that. So it was an absolutely fascinating museum, and I really wish they would have English translations of that. Like maybe there's like some kind of audio translation, I'm not sure. After the museum, went to Jindaiji. I ended up going on to bus number 4. So there's bus number 14 that I know goes from the Ghibli Museum to the Jindaiji, and then there's bus number 4. So I ended up catching bus number 4, and then I got off at a stop that Google Maps told me to get off at. This was wrong information. The bus number 4 actually goes to a stop that is called Jindaiji, and instead I ended up going to a stop that was like in the back of the park next to the shrine. So it went kind of to like the botanical garden that was near it, but like I ended up going around the back and going all the way around the shrine and then going, oh, here's the front. So that was a little like, oh well, first time visitor mistake. They also had like little daruma omikuji, so like little fortunes inside of a little daruma figure. A daruma is like a red Buddhist face. They're very famous actually in Gunma Prefecture, so I probably am going to get a daruma maybe this trip. Might get one in Takasaki, and if I do, I will show you what one looks like. But otherwise, it was really good. There's a lot of little shops outside of the temple area, and I ended up getting a wind chime. So they had like a pottery making area, And I think people, you could make your own pottery if you wanted to, and they had some already made like ceramic pieces, and they had a wind chime, and the one I got sounds so pretty. They had a bunch of different wind chimes, and the sign said like every wind chime makes a different sound, and it was really true. Like, so I tested the sounds and I picked the one I liked the best. It's so pretty. I don't want to unpack it and show you because I don't know if I'll be able to like wrap it as nicely as it is currently wrapped, because I trust it to go in a suitcase right now. I would not trust it if I rewrapped it. Then after that, rode the same bus number 4 at the front of the temple back to Kichijoji station, and then I also got the Coca-Cola apple, which, and seriously, these vlogs are just turning out to be like Lara Eats Tokyo, but the Coca-Cola apple is the new Coke flavor release for this year, or this fall. It's really good. I've already drank like half of this, but yeah, the apple flavor really works so well. It's not overpowering, it's not crazy strong or anything. I'm actually probably going to try and bring some of these home. It's really good flavor. But yeah, it works. Oddly enough, like apple and Coca-Cola, like it is a good combination. And after Kichijoji, I went to Nakano because I realized the Chuo Express line makes a stop at Nakano, and so I wanted to go to Nakano Broadway and just kind of look around Mandarake, those stores, because I went 10 years ago. So my very first trip to Japan, I went to Nakano Broadway, and I feel like maybe it's changed a little bit, but not a lot. I think it's definitely gotten more popular than it was 10 years ago. There's a lot more people, and so the crowds were a lot more, so I didn't really film much in there just because it was pretty crowded. But I looked through some stores and everything. But yeah, that's my day. It's been pretty busy. I am pretty tired, but I'm still gonna go and see a friend at 9 o'clock. It's 6:30 right now, and so she gets off work around 8:30, I think, and we're gonna meet up for a very late dinner. And so it'll be good to see her. See you later.